Hey guys, Patrick Smith from AeroMediaPros.com. Today I'm going to walk you through a full tutorial on the Waypoint ground station application for the iPad. This is a 2.4 data link with the Bluetooth set up with our helicopter. I got the helicopter turned on right now. We're connected, and so I'm going to dive into the application and show you everything that this can do. So let's go ahead and get started. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put this into simulation mode. Simulation mode is going to allow me to run everything but still get the full effect and test everything before we go out and do it in real life. But it's a really good tool that lets me give you the best way to use the tools, the waypoints, different ways to do it and stuff like that. So to go into simulation mode, just hit the three dots, click the little setting wheel, and then we're going to slide the flight simulator on. It says don't turn your helicopter on while you're in flight simulation mode. No problem. We're good to go. So there we are. So we have the helicopter location right there. We'll start going over some of these icons. Right up here, the green lets us know that we're connected to the Bluetooth, connected to the copter, and the blue lets us know that we're communicating back and forth. The little joystick icon up here, that lets you select joystick mode so you can use the iPad with little joysticks to control the copter. We have single waypoint, multi-waypoint. This identifies and locates the copter right there, and then if you click the other one, that'll locate your iPad. So sometimes if they're different far apart, you see where the two different ones are at. Or if this is in the middle of a mission and it's over here, you can click on it and the copter will be over there, but your iPad will still be located right here. Now this one is for auto landing. Wherever it's at, you click that and it'll auto land. This one is to come home, so no matter where the copter's at, you click that, you can set the home point and bring it home. Right here shows us our Bluetooth connection, how well the signal is from our Bluetooth to the iPad. This is our data link connection, shows us how well our data link is, how well we're connected to the copter. Shows us our satellites. Right now we got 10 satellites. Shows us the current voltage of the helicopter, which are at 24.6. Now if we wanted to search for something, maybe a location, or say we're going to go out and we're going to scout an area, or we're going to do a piece of real estate, you could type in the house's location, pull that up, and you can get the map and everything before you go out there, and you can even do a simulation of the house that you want to do and scan and go ahead and practice it before you actually get out there on set. So that's where you would search for it. Right here, you can select between the different map modes. You have standard mode, satellite mode, and then hybrid. Shows you the streets and everything like that. I'm going to go ahead and switch to satellite mode. We're going to pretend that this is like a swamp area, bay area, and we're going to be doing some scanning. Maybe it's a search and rescue, so we want to find something, we can go back and forth, or maybe we just want to scan the waterway system, make sure everything's flowing good and there's no obstructions or something like that. So we have the helicopter. First thing I'm going to show you is the single waypoint mode. So you click on the little single waypoint icon right here. Now we can click the waypoint anywhere we want it to go. Now you can click on this, hold it, and you drag it and drop it. So I'm going to go ahead and go right over here to the edge of this water. Now we can set the height that we want it to go to. I'm going to set this for 30 meters. For speed, I'm going to set it, typically I use about 7 to 15 maximum. 7's a pretty nice speed, it's really good for filming. 15, that's when I'm like on a mission, I want to get there fast. But for simulation purposes, I want the copter to move fast so we can move through everything a bit faster. So I'm going to set it to 25. Once you have that, you click done. Now I hit go. The copter says it needs to switch into GPS mode. So I'm going to take the radio. That's in GPS attitude mode now. Notice it tells you right there. It has to be in GPS to do any waypoint moves. So that's in GPS now. I hit go. It's going to upload the mission. It's in a single waypoint mode. Our flight time starts, so that gives you your current flight time. You see our horizontal speed. That's how fast it's flying forward or backwards. Our vertical speed, how fast it's climbing. We have our height. Right now we're at 32 meters, 33 meters. Our target distance, we're about 22 meters from the distance and we're getting closer and closer to our target. And then this says 980 meters from where we took off from. Now this is a far distance because it's actually way over there where I was from, but I wanted to find a good location on the map to show you this. So that's single waypoint. You can quickly make changes and fly wherever you want to. We'll go climb height right here. We'll do this one a little bit slower. We'll go to 20, hit go, and it's going to take off and go onto that mission. Now at any time, if you're in the middle of this and you want to pause, or say you're about to run into something that you didn't see, go ahead, hit pause. It'll switch into hovering mode. The copter's going to stop and hover exactly where it was when you push that button. So now we're in hovering mode. We can rethink what we need to do. Let's go ahead and bring it back towards where we were. We're going to set it to 45 meters, and we'll bring it back to where we were. So this is single waypoint mode. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and switch, and we're going to get into some more advanced flying with the multiple waypoints. So we'll go ahead. It's going to arrive there. Let's pause it. Now we're going to go to multiple waypoints. Now we're going to draw a flight plan. Go single waypoint here, 2, 3. We're going to do a little trail around this water. Now what I like to do is your last waypoint, I usually like to bring close to home. That way if something happens, it always stays in a continuous motion and it always gets close to us on that last waypoint so we can regain control with the radio. So once we have that, you can click on each individual tab, like number 4. If I want to edit location number 4, we're going to change this to 50 meters. We'll set the speed to 25. The heading, which way we want it to head, and the hover time. If I want it to stop and go, if I want it to stop and turn, we set that hover time to hover for 5 seconds, and then it'll continue on. Or my favorite way to do it is if you click on select all, now it selects all the waypoints, and we're going to do them all at once. 45 meters, 25 meters for the speed. We'll do a stop and turn, and we'll hover for 1 second. And we'll back that up. We'll actually go 3 seconds so you can see it stop and turn. Okay, so once we got that, you hit done. That's all programmed. You click OK. This is getting ready to upload it. Make sure you check all your altitudes and speeds right here. Sometimes if maybe we forgot to program one, or if we had them all programmed for 45 meters, but one of them we accidentally did for 5 meters, it would fly that path and then it dropped down to 5 meters when it got to that location. There may be obstacles in the way, trees, buildings, or something like that. So this is your last chance to verify that everything is correct. So we have our hover time, 3 seconds, our stop and turns on everything. We're good to go. Now flight time exceeded, I like this because we're in a flight time. If you know your flight time of your helicopter, say 20 minutes, we can set this so that maybe in 17 minutes, it'll come home. So if it reaches this flight time, you're in the middle of a mission and you know you don't have enough time, if it hits that time, it's going to come back home and land. A lot of people, if they forget to set this, they'll do a big long mission and the copter just simply didn't have enough battery power to finish it and it ends up dying out in the middle of nowhere. So make sure you use that to your advantage. Vertical speed, this is how fast it's going to climb and get up to altitude. I usually like to use about 2 to 3. So put that 2 meters per second. And then this loop, you can either have it on, which means it's going to go to that last waypoint and it'll stop there. Or you keep the loop on and it's going to continue it, doing it until you interact and stop it yourself. So we have loop on, everything's good to go. I'm going to hit go. And now it's in multi-waypoint mode. It's going to go to this first point. It's going to hover there for 3 seconds. And then it's going to turn horizontal speed, coming to a stop. Right about now, it's going to stop there. It'll hover for 3 seconds and then bam, it's taking off. So let's go in and go to the second point. We can zoom in and see that a little bit better. Again, it's going to come to a stop. It'll turn towards the third point, and then it'll take off again. So now in the middle of this, again, if something were going wrong, we didn't pre-plan for something, or we just realized we made a mistake, you can hit pause. We can actually edit this. You can click the edit button. You can select all. And now I'm going to change the height to 50 meters. I'm going to do the speed to 25, except this time I'm going to do a banked turn. So now it's just going to round these points off and continue on its mission. It won't do the stops no more. So I'm going to hit done, click OK, hit go. So now we just edited that flight pan while we're in the middle of the mission. So now you'll notice it's going to come, it's not going to stop anymore. It's going to actually make a rounded point. This is the one I typically do if you're doing filming. If you're doing filming, this or the adaptive bank will make for some nice smooth footage. The bank turn is going to be shallower, more steeper bank, so to say, and the adaptive bank is going to be wider, and it's going to really round off the waypoints. So you'll notice it's getting pretty close to them right now, but it is cutting them off. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pause this one more time. I'm going to click edit. I'm going to select all. I'm going to drop it down to 20 meters. Drop it down to 20 meters per second speed. And then I'm going to do an adaptive turn. And now it's going to be a much wider path. So go ahead, hit done. Click OK. Go. And now it's barely going to touch any of the waypoints. It's just going to cut them off. So you see it's not touching 2. 3, it's going to round this off real quick. As it goes on to number 5. It's like it's almost going to hit this point. And it's going to curve it off. It's going to make it a nice curve between the 2 points. Same thing here, it's going to curve it off. So that's using the adaptive turns. Now what we're going to do, pause the mission here. If we wanted to bring it back home, or let's say we realized our battery level was getting low, you could pause the mission, we could hit come home, and you can drag your home point to where we were. You set your altitude that you want to come to. We're going to bring that down to 10 meters. Hit done and go. Now it's coming home. Once it gets over this home point, you can choose to regain control with the radio, or we can go ahead and leave it there and it would land. I'm going to go ahead and cancel the home point. I'm going to switch to single waypoint, and we'll get it to come back a lot faster. 25 meters per second. We'll still drop down to the 10. Hit go. And you'll see it'll turn and come a lot quicker. So now that I get to this home point, or I'm back using the single waypoint, I'm where I'm at. We can scroll in, and you can use this button. We'll pause it right there. Switches to hovering mode, and the little down arrow switches to auto landing. So now it'll show your altitude right here. It's dropping, and as it gets close to the ground, our height, 6 meters, it'll pause for a second, and then it'll go ahead and it'll continue its slow descent. Right before it gets to the ground, it'll gradually stop and it'll land completely. Once it's landed, it'll shut the motors off, and then we can start back over. Bam, we are landed. All movement has stopped. We're good to go. Now what I'm going to do is, you'll notice too, as our flight time, the motor's shut off, so our flight time's paused also. Now let's get into some more advanced flying, some of the pre-programmed flights. So I hit the multi-way points. I'm going to select all and delete that. Now I'm going to go to this little box over here, and that's going to have our pre-programmed flight patterns. So I'm going to do the circle. This is a pretty nice one. You can widen it, make it bigger, smaller, more oval. So play with that. You can also turn it if you needed to. We can change the amount of waypoints. This has 10. Let's go ahead and go to 20. And you'll notice now you have 20. The more waypoints you have in a circle, the more round and perfect circle it's going to be. So I'm going to click done. We got that. Now this little arrow right here, this selects which is going to be our first waypoint. So I want waypoint number 1 at, you know what, let's do waypoint number 6. That's going to be where it initially starts. When we hit go, that's where it's going to go to and start. So you hit that, and you pick which waypoint you want, and that'll take you there. So again, we can edit all of these at once by clicking select all. I'm going to go to 50 meters. Speed, we'll do 25. And we're going to do a nice banked turn on here. We can hit done. Now if I want to do one at a time, I can click 15. And on that one, I'm going to drop down to 25 meters. Same speed and everything. And we're good to go. So now, when we get ready to go, you'll notice they're all 50, 50, 50. Except that one's 25. So it's going to go, drop down, come back up. Make sure those are all good. Bank turns, no hover times, speed's good, hit go. Now it's going to take off. It's going to start at point number 4 because that's where we want it to start at.
Waypoints.
Let's start gaining its altitude. Vertical speed's climbing at about 3 right now, 3.8. Height, we're getting up to that 50 meters pretty quick. And you notice that it's doing a nice little round. This is a perfect example of you have to pre-plan. If you're doing bank turns, look how close it's getting to the center. It's not getting very close to the outside here. So you have to plan. If there was something in the middle right here, you're not going to hit way out there, so make sure. Now if something were to go wrong and I wanted to change it, bam, hit pause, and we can regain control and we can start from scratch. So now what I'm going to do is we're going to edit.
Waypoints.
I'm going to select all, trash can. I'm going to pause this.
Hovering.
And now we're going to go to a different one.
Waypoints. Hovering.
So now let's go ahead and click single waypoint. And we'll go back to this one. And we'll go to 20. Done. Go.
Single waypoint.
So now we're back in the single waypoint. So you can quickly move from multi to single and regain control of the craft. So that gives you the brief introduction on how to do all the different waypoints. Now if you like a maneuver that you did, you can also start a new one over here. We will select which one we want to start at. I'm going to start it at number 4. Then we can do select all. We do our height, 30, speed 25, and we will do stop and turns on this one. Hit done. Click OK. Make sure everything's good. And it'll upload. And now we got this new waypoint mission going on over here. So it'll take off to number 4. It'll stop and turn and go on to 5, 6, 7, 8. Now if this is one that you programmed
Hovering.
and you wanted to save that, let's go ahead and select single so I can get out of here.
Single waypoint.
Now I'm going to hit a new one. Pause it right there. I'm going to select all of these, delete, and now we can go with one last one. Now you can change these waypoints however you want. So if you want 4, 5, 6, you can basically drag these in any direction and make it the way you want. And then when you're done, hit the plus, and you can save this as your own flight plan. We'll just call this one crazy because it looked pretty crazy. So now it's saved in our favorites. If we wanted to upload one of our favorites, we could go here and we could upload our favorites. So we'll go ahead and we'll select all. We'll just throw this in real quick. 25 is the fastest one go. Adaptive, done. Okay, and now it's off.
Waypoints.
So that is a rundown of how to do single waypoints, multiple waypoints. We have our auto come home, and we have our auto landing. This is pretty much gives you all the tools you need to go out there, create your own missions, and really have a blast, create some cool stuff with this. Remember, at any time, if you get in trouble, pause the hovercraft. If you need to, just simply bring it back home, edit the home point, bring it back to wherever you are. If it's where you're standing, fine. Bring it to the altitude you want it, hit done, and go.
Go home.
So that's one way to regain control. It comes back a little bit slower when it's like that. Personally, I like to just do the single waypoint. If I get in trouble or I'm done with the mission or I just want to bring it home, I click that single waypoint, drag it to where I want it to go. I'm parked right here on the street. I'm ready to come home. Bring it down close to you. Get it there fast. Hit go.
Waypoint.
And it'll come back home. So I hope this helps, guys. If you like it, give it a thumbs up. Like us on Facebook. And we'll keep on putting out some more videos like this. Thanks a bunch.